Imagine you only have a small amount of money in your hands. Maybe it's $20, maybe it's $50, maybe it's $100. You look at that money and think, there's no way I can make this grow. But here's the truth. You don't need a huge amount of money to start building wealth. You need to understand how money moves. Most people use small amounts of money to buy things that disappear. Food, entertainment, clothes, subscriptions, impulse purchases, and after the money is gone, they have nothing to show for it. But another person could take that same $50 and use it to buy something that creates more money. That is the difference between spending money and using money as capital. In today's video, I'm going to show you several practical ways to turn a small amount of money into more money, whether you're starting with $20, $50, $100, or a few $100s. These aren't get-rich-quick tricks. They require work, patience, and good decisions. But if you understand the principles, you can start building from almost any amount. Let's begin. Step 1. Stop thinking about the amount. The first thing you need to change is your mindset. If you have $50, don't ask, what can I buy with $50? Ask, what can I do with $50 that could create more than $50? That is the mindset of an entrepreneur. Money is not just something you spend. Money can be capital. Capital is money or resources used to create more value. A small amount of capital can become a business. A business can generate profit. Profit can be reinvested, and reinvested profit can create more profit. That's how small amounts can eventually become larger amounts. The process may be slow at first, but the principle is powerful. Step 2. Use small money to buy something you can resell. One of the simplest ways to turn money into more money is buying and reselling. Let's say you have $50. Instead of spending it on something that provides temporary enjoyment, you could use it to purchase products at a lower price and sell them at a higher price. It could be clothing, accessories, household items, snacks, beauty products, school supplies, small electronics, or products that people in your local community already buy. The important part isn't the product itself. The important part is the margin. For example, imagine you buy an item for $5 and sell it for $8. Your gross profit is $3 before other expenses. If you sell 10 units, that's $30 in gross profit. Now you take that money and buy more inventory. You sell again, then again. That's how a small amount of capital can begin circulating through a business. But remember, revenue is not profit. You must subtract transportation, packaging, damaged products, fees, and other expenses. Always calculate your real profit. Step 3. Buy tools that help you make money. Sometimes the best investment isn't inventory. It's a tool. Imagine you have $100. You could spend the entire amount on something you don't need, or you could use part of it to buy equipment that allows you to provide a service. Maybe you need tools for repairing phones, a clipper for barbering, basic equipment for cleaning, a sewing machine, cooking equipment, a pressure washer, a camera accessory, tools for woodworking, or equipment for another practical skill. The question is, can this tool help me make money repeatedly? If the answer is yes, the tool may be more valuable than a temporary purchase. Think of the tool as an employee. You buy it once, and it helps you produce value again and again. Step 4. Turn your skills into money. You may already have something more valuable than money. You may have a skill. Maybe you can cook. Maybe you can cut hair. Maybe you can repair electronics. Maybe you're good at photography. Maybe you know how to sew. Maybe you can fix furniture. Maybe you're good at painting. Maybe you can tutor children. Maybe you can repair cars. Skills can become businesses. If you have very little capital, this can be one of your best options because you're using your ability instead of relying entirely on money. For example, suppose you have $30. You could use that money to purchase basic supplies for a cleaning service. Then you find your first customer. You charge $20. You complete the job. You use part of the profit to buy more supplies. Then you serve another customer. The money grows because your skill creates value. That's a powerful concept. Sometimes the best way to turn a small amount of money into more money is to combine that money with something you already know how to do. Step 5. Buy in bulk and sell in smaller quantities. Another strategy is buying products in larger quantities when the unit price is lower, then selling them individually. For example, imagine a supplier sells a box of products for $40. The box contains 20 items. That means your cost is $2 per item. If you can sell each item for $4, your total revenue would be $80. That gives you $40 in gross profit before other costs. Then you reinvest. Buy another box, then 2 boxes, then 4. The business grows through reinvestment, but don't make the mistake of buying large quantities before testing demand. Start small. Test the product. Find out whether people actually want it. Then increase your inventory. The worst thing you can do with limited capital is lock all your money into products nobody wants. Step 6. Use your money to learn a profitable skill. Not every investment has to immediately produce cash. Sometimes you should invest in your ability to make money. You could use a small amount of money to buy a book. Take a course. Purchase basic equipment. Pay for training. Practice a skill. Learn a trade. The goal isn't simply collecting information. The goal is acquiring a skill that someone will eventually pay you for. Think about it. If you spend $50 learning a skill that eventually allows you to make an extra $500 every month, that $50 wasn't really an expense. It was an investment in your earning ability. Of course, not every course or book will produce those results. You still need to choose carefully and actually practice what you learn. Knowledge becomes valuable when you turn it into action. Step 7. Start a small food business. Food is another powerful example. People eat every day. That creates constant demand. If you have $50 or $100, depending on local prices, you could potentially use some of that money to buy ingredients and create a small batch of food or snacks. You could sell donuts, cookies, popcorn, sandwiches, lunch meals, cakes, pastries, or other popular local foods. The secret is not making everything. Choose one product, make it well. Calculate your costs. Set a profitable price, then sell it. If people like it, they come back. Repeat customers are extremely valuable because you don't have to start from zero every day. Step 8. Use the power of compounding. Now let's talk about a different way money grows. Investing. When you invest money and earn a return, you can potentially reinvest those returns. Over time, your returns can begin generating additional returns. This is known as compound growth. For example, imagine you invest $100 and it earns a hypothetical 10% return. You would have $110. If that money then earns another 10%, you would have $121. The important part is that you're no longer earning returns only on your original $100. You're earning on the original amount plus previous returns. Of course, real investments don't provide guaranteed returns, and actual results can be higher or lower. Investing also involves risk. But the principle of compounding is extremely important. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow, and you don't have to begin with thousands of dollars. The habit of investing consistently can be more important than the size of your first investment. Step 9. Don't try to double your money overnight. Here's something very important. If someone tells you, "Give me $100 and I'll turn it into $1,000 next week with no risk," be extremely careful. The promise of fast money attracts people into scams, gambling, fraudulent investments, and reckless financial decisions. Real wealth usually takes time. A legitimate business requires customers. Investments fluctuate, skills require practice, products need to be sold, businesses need to be managed. There is no magic button. If making money sounds effortless, guaranteed, and extremely fast, that's usually a warning sign. Your goal isn't to turn $100 into $1,000 tomorrow. Your goal is to build a system that can repeatedly turn capital into profit. That's much more sustainable. Step 10. Reinvest instead of consuming. This is where everything comes together. Let's say you start with $100. You make a profit of $30. You now have $130. You have a choice. You can spend the $30, or you can reinvest it. If you keep reinvesting your profits, your business capital can gradually increase. $100 becomes $130. $130 becomes $170. $170 becomes $220. The exact numbers will depend on your business and its profitability, but the principle is what matters. Profit becomes new capital. New capital creates more opportunities. More opportunities can create more profit. This is how small businesses grow. A simple example. Let's imagine you have $100. You decide to start selling a product locally. You spend $80 on inventory. You keep $20 as a reserve. You sell the inventory for $120. Now you have $40 in gross profit before other expenses. Instead of spending the entire profit, you reinvest $30. Now your next inventory purchase can be larger. You keep repeating the cycle. Buy, sell, profit. Reinvest. Repeat. After enough cycles, your original $100 can become much larger. But there's something important here. You need to protect your capital. Don't spend everything. Don't borrow recklessly. Don't buy inventory without demand. And don't confuse sales with profit. The 3 rules of turning small money into bigger money. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember these 3 rules. Rule number 1, protect your capital. Don't risk money you can't afford to lose. Rule number 2, create value. Don't expect money to grow without doing something productive with it. Rule number 3, reinvest your profits. Don't consume all the money your business produces. Use part of the profit to create more opportunities. These 3 principles can take you much further than chasing the latest get-rich-quick idea. The 30-day small money challenge. Here's a challenge. Choose an amount you can genuinely afford to use. Maybe it's $20, maybe $50, maybe $100. Don't borrow it. Don't use money needed for food, rent, transportation, or essential bills. Use only money you can afford to put toward a small experiment. Then choose one simple business model. Buy a small amount of inventory. Offer a service. Create a simple product, or invest in a skill. Your goal during the first 30 days isn't to become rich. Your goal is to make your first profit, even if that profit is only $5, because once you prove that you can turn money into more money, you can begin improving the process. Final message: the amount of money you start with matters, but it isn't the only thing that matters. Your ability to identify opportunities matters. Your ability to create value matters. Your discipline matters. Your ability to reinvest matters, and your patience matters. Someone with $1,000 and terrible financial habits can lose it quickly. Someone with $50 and a strong business mindset can potentially use that money as the beginning of something much bigger. So don't wait until you're rich to learn how to manage money. Start with what you have. Learn how to make it work. Protect your capital. Create value. Make your first profit, reinvest, and repeat, because wealth isn't always built from one huge amount of money. Sometimes it starts with a very small amount and the decision to use it differently. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.